What's up, guys? We are here Saturday night again, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. SpawnCast episode 56, actually. I checked this time because Evan's not here, so I can't ask him. He's actually at a convention, a Comic-Con convention, selling artwork there. He's actually been selling quite a bit. He's on Twitter showing it all the time. And he's doing pretty well there, actually. I think R. Potter was there as well. So he's having a good time there, selling a bunch of stuff. And it's the three of us tonight. So we're going to talk about quite a bit of stuff, actually, because actually a lot of stuff happened this past week. We had a lot of financial stuff thrown around by all the companies, kind of, except Microsoft didn't really throw much, but the other two did. So we have a lot to talk about there, but let's start with some of the panel here. We have Sean, RGT85, of course. How's it going, Sean?
Hello, going good, going good.
Good. And then we have Max, of course, Dreamcastguy.
Hello. It's nice. It's just the core crew again. We're going back to our roots.
Yep, go back to the roots. You're actually going to also be on a podcast tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing Weapon Wheel tomorrow. And I did Cash Money. If anybody ever watches Cash Money, I was on Cash Money's show earlier this week, and that was really fun.
Cool. All right, very good. Weapon Wheel's fun, so I think you'll have a good time on there. You were on there before anyway, so
yeah, I think I've been on there twice before. I think this will be my third time. And I love those dudes because, like, while we cover news, that's one of those podcasts where they just talk trash for 2 hours. It's so fun.
All right, very good. What have we been playing this week, guys? Anything good?
I did the demo for Detroit Become Human and was very, very, very impressed by it.
I didn't get a chance to play it. That's the rooftop one, right? I have it downloaded. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. I've been stuck on God of War still.
It's really good. I mean, you can beat the whole thing in like literally 8 minutes if you want to. If you go slow and actually find all the little hints and clues, it's about a 25 or 30-minute demo. I guess what's really blowing me away is it's a lot tighter than I thought. When I was watching the gameplay demo, especially like people on IGN who are recording their gameplay, they walk around like weird fish robots. Whereas when I'm actually playing it myself, it's very responsive. Like I feel like when I'm investigating stuff and searching for clues, I don't know. It's really tight. I like it.
Okay. It's that's a game. I see some people talk about it at times on forums, on message boards, even on YouTube videos and comments. They see it more like an interactive movie, I guess is how they kind of see it. Is that I didn't again? I should actually just try it out tonight.
It really doesn't feel that way. That was actually my biggest concern because I saw some people saying it's basically just. It's like a point and click adventure. It does not feel like that. It actually feels like I'm in this world. It's hard to. It feels like those really old RPGs where you don't level up, you just get items. It kind of feels like I'm gathering up information for the boss fight at the end of it. Like every situation, it seems like everything's broken down into 30-minute chapters, and you basically gather clues throughout the chapter, and then there's some sort of like big confrontation, whether it be somebody yelling at you or somebody testing your skill, or you're trying to break into a building, and depending on what you've done leading up to that determines whether or not you can get through it.
They kind of showed that when they at the E3, remember they recreated kind of the crime, and then they gave him things he could use when he was talking to the person on the rooftop.
That's one, and I read an interview where they're talking about there's a mission later on in the game where basically you're trying to sneak into this convenience store that actually does not allow androids. So you have to steal a coat from a homeless guy. You have to tip somebody to like smear dirt on your face so you look a little bit more like human. You have to like walk in there and pretend like you're drunk to get into this store that's human only.
That's actually pretty funny.
Does it play like Heavy Rain?
Much smoother than that, because that was my fear. So I liked Heavy Rain, and I thought Heavy Rain, though, was really clunky. I liked Beyond Two Souls, but I thought even that still felt a lot like you're walking inside of a movie. Right. This actually feels immersive. This actually feels like you are a character in a world instead of just controlling a puppet.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to that. That's next month, right? That's
May 25th.
May 25th. Okay,
same day as Dark Souls.
Ooh, man. That's tough. People are going to definitely pick up Dark Souls. I'm curious how that game sells. I think the Pactor Factor said it'd sell between 3 and 4 million, which I could have told people that. So I didn't think it was going to be like a massive hit or anything. Like it's not going to sell like a God of War or something like that, but 3 to 4 million I think is enough for a game like that. I feel. Did we lose Max?
Yep.
Max is gone. Oh, he's back. Is Matt? Is he back? Max, you back?
That was weird. I crashed, and it didn't even disconnect me. Like, you all just froze for 45 seconds.
Oh, okay. Max is back. Okay. Yeah. The Pactor said it'd sell between 3 and 4 million. He doesn't really take a lot of chances anymore. He says a lot of the obvious stuff.
That seems really high to me. Like, even
You think so, really?
Yeah, as much as I like that game, most of those games actually don't sell super high. I thought most of the Quantic Dream things were like 1 to 2 tops.
I mean that's probably over its lifetime. I mean, 3 to 4 million. That's a pretty small attach rate for what the PS4 is, almost 80 million now.
Oh yeah,
That's a very low. I mean, that's a pretty small attach rate there. That's what's that, like 4%?
Yeah.
So that's not high, but I guess that'd be good for their studio then if they sell that many. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, cool. What about you, Sean? I know you're playing a first person shooter game on the Switch, definitely.
Yeah, Immortal Redneck. I did a video on it. It comes out, I think, May 10th. Just a really interesting sort of randomly generated roguelike first person shooter where you play as a redneck who wanted to go on vacation to Egypt and he gets like captured by mummies. Like it's very weird, but the gameplay is very, very addictive. I know it's out on the PS4 as well. I'm not sure if it's come out on the Xbox One yet, but I've been enjoying it. I played that, South Park, which I thought was really good. I love the combat system in that game. I
started playing South Park on the Switch as well. I actually picked it up and I had to go to 3 different stores to get it, which was weird. Yeah, I don't know why that was the case, but I ended up getting it physically, which is good because I need to start collecting more of these Switch games physically. Except for Wolfenstein. If I get that, it's digital. Just because it's half digital anyway.
Right.
About anyway, but I like the game. I played it some on the Xbox, yeah. I played it some on the Xbox already, and Max, I know you already beat it.
Yep, I beat it. Love it. I love that combat system.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know, it never gets boring, and they just keep implementing new things as you go along. Like, it's very good. Like, I was surprised. I figured I would like it because I like South Park stuff. I mean, it would be like if a Simpsons RPG came out, like I would obviously be gravitated towards that. But the fact that the game is actually so good, it's like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. And then I've been sampling quite a few indies. I probably will have to do sort of a collaboration video because it's like you finally get all the indies cleared, and then next thing you know, you get like 10 more in, and you're like, shit.
Dude, I have to overlook 99% of them. I'm just flooded. Like, there's just too many to even keep up. I probably install 1 in 10. I'm saying, as horrible as that is.
Someone was asking about the performance. The load times are pretty bad in South Park.
Like, just going to a fight, the load times are kind of long, from what I remember.
Are they really?
I mean, when I was playing the beginning of it, and then every time I'd go into a little battle, it was like the load time would sit there for a minute and then would jump in.
I think that's awful.
Was that just me? I was in the beginning when I was playing, and I haven't got a chance to play as much as I'd like to because I just wanted to see how it was running. But that was in the beginning. It would throw me into a little cutscene, and then it would throw me into a load screen, then it would throw me into the battle. But that's, I mean, otherwise, it seems like the frame rate's okay. It does. You're right, Sean. You told me it kind of dipped at times. I double checked it. And you're right. It does dip at times. But otherwise, it plays actually fairly well in handheld mode.
Yeah, and there was
I want to play well.
Yeah, like that's how I did a lot of my playing of it because I don't know. I just like to play RPGs in bed for some reason. But I noticed that like sometimes it would dip. Sometimes like you would come out of the cutscene and then you would move really fast for like a split second, and then like very rarely there would be like dialogue and it would just get cut off, and I'd be like, well, what happened there? But you know, I mean, on the up and up, like it's still a fantastic game. Switch is all you got.
That sounds really bad performance-wise. That's actually scary to me. Because that game, I mean, it runs like a dream on PS4. There's not even load times. I mean, literally, you just walk to screen to screen. That's crazy.
Did you play Stick of Truth, Sean?
Yes, I did, but I didn't beat it or anything.
I love that game. That game was so good. I love that game. It was that's when I was really in the South Park, is when that game came out. Kind of fell out of it. That's a $5 super chat from Nix saying, guys, do you think we might see a Ni no Kuni 1 on the Switch? I'd like to say yes, because it also made its way to the DS from what I remember, right, in Japan.
Yes.
But level 5 is pretty serious with the Switch now, so I would like to actually see them move over the first one because I like the first one a lot, and from what I've heard of the second one, I don't think I'll like that one as much. But I think the first one has a decent chance. Maybe not as much as the second one. The second one will probably be on the PS4 only and the PC for a while.
Mhm.
But I'd like to see the first one. Did you guys play the first one at all?
Yes, I beat it. I loved it. Oh man,
It was a great game. That would actually work really well on the Switch, I think, just the way it's designed.
yeah. Well, and how focused it is on side quests. Really good to just play it 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, so it was a good game. I would love to see that come over, and I would actually pick it up again, honestly, on the Switch. Absolutely. Cool. And so we played South Park. I did some of that as well. You played some indie games. I played some indie games too. There was the plane flight simulator, arcade flight simulator we were just talking about, was Skyrogue. Played some of that, and then I was still stuck on God of War for a while. And then a robot named Fight. I don't like that game as much, to be honest.
I saw Nintendo seemed to like it, but I don't know. It didn't seem like, you know what pissed me off? I was on my Patreon call and I was randomly like looking at upcoming games, and stupid Nintendo's website had this one game listed as that already came out, and I was like, oh wow, this looks really good. It looked like sort of like Ghouls and Ghosts. And so I grab my Switch, I go to the shop, there's nothing there, and I'm like, what the hell? And then, like, come to find out the game's like not out, and it's like, why do you say it's out but it's not out? And it like hasn't come out yet. Like, update your damn website. Really?
Which game was that?
Oh, now I'm trying to remember the name. Hold on, I'll remember. It was.
I think their whatchamacallit their eShop just needs a remake overall. It just needs a serious facelift right now. It's getting tough to find stuff on there now.
It had the word castle in it. I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. What the hell was the name? I could find it. I'm sure.
It was so memorable. The other thing I played, I randomly beat Diablo 3 this week, just start to finish. That was super fun again. Like,
yeah, that's a game that I think is coming to the Switch E3, by the way. So you should have held off and replayed it then, just to see how it turned out.
Well, I mean, I like how it runs on PS4. I'm always worried about how performance. That's a game where you need every little bit of the graphics. Me and my girlfriend beat it in like a 13-hour sitting, and we were blowing up everything we could, all the destructible environments. I'd be afraid with the Switch, any load times and stuff. Like, that game is so instant.
I wonder how because it ran pretty well on the 360 from what I remember.
Yep.
For what it was, I wonder how it would run on this. It'd probably run perfectly fine on the Switch for the most part, depending on what they do with it. But that'd be interesting to see that. I just think a lot of people would probably pick that up. Especially if it had like the 4-player co-op in the same room kind of thing, where you don't have to use where everyone can connect their Switches. That'd be really cool to see.
Well,
Found it. We'll proceed. We'll talk about this in a second.
I was just going to say, my only complaint is, man, playing through that game again, I love it. I hate the fact that the only DLC is one character, and he's $15. The Necromancer you buy for $15 by himself.
Oh, man. Wow, that's pretty bad. That's oh, man. What was the game, Sean?
Cast of the Seven Godsends. It says it came out on April 18th. It is $13. It did not come out on April 18th, and I could not spend my $13 on it because it is not out.
What? You can't buy it on their website either?
No.
What? Maybe it's supposed to say May.
I mean,
it's supposed to say May 18th or whatever.
Maybe. Like, I hope so. Like, the game looks freaking awesome. Like, I really like the way it looks, and it looks like a game I'm really going to enjoy. And I was just like, wow, this would be a really fun game.
Sean, people are asking you if you got God of War yet.
No. I'll probably go tomorrow.
Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, the more I play through it, the more it's giving me those Zelda vibes.
Oh, really?
Dude, I'm telling you, it has that feeling to it. It has like that Zelda like adventure feeling to it.
Like, it's a game that I definitely need, but it's like, it's definitely a game that I would play for enjoyment more so than work. And it's like, the fact that I have a lot of work right now sort of is like, well, I mean, it's just going to sit there for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to get it.
Might, honestly, when you start playing it, you might want to weigh in on it in a video. You'd be surprised. I think there's actually a lot to talk about there. I was going to finish it and then talk about it, but I think I'm going to need 40 hours, maybe even 50 hours with it before I can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it's like that. Like I want to finish it, I want to do all the stuff, and then I'll make a video on it because there's a lot of like little nuanced things to this game that I've been noticing that I don't even really hear that many other people talk about because I'm like noticing all these little things that are happening, like with Kratos as a character, with just what like the how God of War is usually a very violent game.
Yeah,
this one's not that violent. In fact, they purposely cut away from violence at times.
I still think it's pretty damn violent. I mean, this finishers stuff, I think you're ripping up a lot less stuff that bleeds, but I think it's still really violent.
But I mean, they don't have like those, like they don't have like before he would like rip out Cyclops' eyeballs and stuff like that. And,
there's less of the finishers.
Yeah, and but even in the story, I can't really say much because it would spoil things. But there were times where there were obvious moments where they would have zoomed in on it in like old God of Wars, and they have like cutaways from like violence that's happening in cutscenes and stuff. And it's like that's weird that they're doing that. But I think it's just because they don't want the focus to be mainly violence. They want it to be about the character development that Kratos is going through, and he goes through a ton in this game.
Yeah,
it is absolutely insane.
So many great moments. Man, I was playing through a side quest the other day, and I'm rowing along in a boat, and all of a sudden Atreus is like, "Oh, look, Father, there's a water wheel. I guess it's like an underwater wheel since it's submerged." And you hear Kratos go, "Huh." He goes, "Oh my God, did you laugh? Did you laugh?" Said, "No, I never laughed."
I saw it. Yeah, I remember that. I know what you're talking about.
I just love
Agent Quado. I wish I could pronounce that right. I hope that's right. Who I think is a new sponsor today, actually. Thank you, Agent Quado. To the dialogue when they're on a boat or just walking around in God of War PS4 is well written, and they're right. It's interesting to kind of hear them talk. There were times where I was on the boat because I realized when you get off the boat, he goes, "Save the stories for when we're on the boat." Yeah. I would get back on the boat and go around and listen because some of the stuff they would talk about was very interesting.
So, I was listening to an interview with Corey Balrog, the director, and he said that when they were playtesting it, they would record people's gameplay so they could watch what the character was looking at, and they kept seeing characters go towards the dock and then stop for a couple seconds and then get on. And they eventually started talking to the playtesters like, "Why do you keep stopping? Are you confused as what the dock buttons are?" And he's like, "Oh no, Kratos was talking." And it's like that was like a huge moment to them of like, okay, our writing is working.
Yep. And then people are talking about how there's really not a lot of loading in the game at all unless you die. That's correct. And then the camera never cuts, which really keeps you engaged the whole time. It's a very weird thing, Sean, which you notice after a little while when you're playing it. Like once you start playing it, from the moment you hit start, the camera never takes a cut to a different angle. Yeah, it floats the entire time around. And it's
even while fast traveling stuff, literally later on when you're able to like warp to different realms and stuff, it just you literally walk from realm to realm through portals and stuff. Just all one thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It really is. It's an amazing game. So, and like I said, it gives that Zelda vibes because there's a lot of adventure to it, and then you get new items and everything, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Full RPG system where you essentially level up and then you rank up skills and you buy new equipment and you have different armor pieces and everything. So it's pretty cool. And the person that you're technically I guess escorting the whole time is actually a massive help in the game. So it's
not annoying.
No, he's super strong.
Very useful. Yeah.
Well, and the further you go, he actually grows the character by you showing him how deadly you can be. He actually fights harder, and he'll actually even tell you to like beat a boss. He'll be like, "All right, I'm getting more confident," and he'll start to literally jump on enemies' faces and stab them in the eyes and stuff for you. Like it's super helpful. Like Atreus feels like an extra weapon. That's what I love about him.
Talking about God of War, guys. People in the chat were saying, talking about God of War. So,
War.
Completely worth the pickup. Definitely, especially if you have like the Best Buy Gamers Club thing for $48 usually comes to, something like that, $47. Completely worth the money there. Honestly, it's worth this full 60, but if you can get away with it, why not? Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's talk. I guess you guys want to jump into some of the news from the past week. We can jump into loot box if you guys want to talk about that first. I kind of wish Evan was actually here for it because he has a completely different point of view than a lot of us do on this, and it actually would have been really interesting to talk to him about it because he has kind of a contrasting opinion on it. He's actually okay with loot boxes, which is why I wanted him to be here for it. But he's selling artwork right now. But he was thinking he'd get beat up in the chat anyway for it. But he's actually okay with the loot boxes if it means that games don't have to have consistent sequels, Like, I think he doesn't want a FIFA every year, for example. He just wants FIFA, and then they just update it for free, essentially, and leave loot boxes in. But EA is not going to do that. Anyway, loot boxes were made essentially found to be illegal with what Belgium classifies as gambling. It has a consequence of 800,000 euros and up to 5 years in prison. I don't know who goes to prison from EA, but somebody does, I guess. And it can be doubled because it is targeted towards minors. So there you go. That's the first real shot where they're threatening. That's the first time prison sentences could be threatened for loot boxes in games. And they've pretty much singled out FIFA 18 specifically, Overwatch, and then Counter-Strike, CSGO. So they're telling them you have like X amount of weeks to take these loot boxes out, or you're going to get these fines and this prison time.
I feel like they are just going to stop selling in those territories. I feel like they're just going to pull the games off store shelves and be like, well, you already have the game. We can't patch it out. If we're not selling anymore, you can't really bust us.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing: is in the grand scheme of things, is one territory like that big of a deal to EA to where they can't just leave? Just like pull IP block for the store and pull the stuff from the store shelves.
I don't know, because we've seen entire huge games banned in Australia that still end up selling really well in Australia through imports. Yeah. So maybe one place like Belgium not allowing any sort of loot boxes could still be viable in the sales market just through outside import.
Chad Sorrent actually dropped in the super chat here saying China bans loot boxes, but Chinese games just sell credits that come with free loot boxes. Prepare for a lot of what is a loot box talk. Exactly. But what's interesting here is Belgium has specifically targeted like the idea of loot boxes generating items that can then be sold for real money. So I think they're actually getting around even what you're suggesting there, but you're absolutely right. This happened in China, and then Overwatch got around it by gifting you a loot box essentially for buying credits. But it sounds like Belgium is like serious about just getting rid of these loot boxes. And a lot of people are also pointing out that more than likely if EA or these other places I guess make this only saleable to 21 and up, and then pay whatever licensing fees have to be paid for gambling, they could probably still sell it in the country. So I'm not really sure how that would go about. Just right now, as they stand now, they are highly illegal in Belgium. And I'll be curious if they target other places as well. What's funny is Battlefront 2 just happened to not be targeted because they just took them out at the last minute. So they ended up dodging a bullet there.
Basically dodging the grenade that they pulled the pin on.
Exactly. It's because of them that a lot of this is happening. I know Sean doesn't like loot boxes in the first place.
No, I really don't. But I also kind of don't like the government getting involved in gaming. Like, I don't know. It never seems to end up well, even if the intentions are good. There are people out there that like loot boxes. There are people out there that want to purchase loot boxes. And by, essentially saying that you cannot do that now, it's, how is it any different than saying, oh, well, you can't sell Night Trap, you can't sell Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't know. Just there are bigger fish to fry in the real world than loot boxes, in my opinion. But,
Sure. I think so from what they have said, if there is some way, I guess you can sell them outside of the game, because there are a lot of third-party sites, I believe, that you can sell like CSGO skins and stuff like that, then it's automatically considered gambling. So a loot box, I guess. It's weird. That's the problem. There seems to be a serious gray line, a gray area in the middle. So it's hard to say. Jar, I bought the super chat. I bought Resident Evil 7 for $19.50 recently. It's great, but how can a company get away with selling a game for $6? It's only 10 hours long. Interesting. We can actually talk about that because Max, you like Resident Evil 7, didn't you?
I beat it 3 times, literally in one weekend. When I got my review copy, I beat it again, and then beat on the hardest difficulty with the super weapons unlocked.
See, this comes into a time and money situation here, because you're saying $6 for 10 hours. When I spent $13 to see Infinity Wars, that's about the same, actually, now I'm looking at it. And then you have people like Max who will play through it multiple times. It just comes down to if the experience is worth it to you. But I get what you're saying. Keep in mind, though, the Order was also sold for $60. And how long is that game?
5 hours, yeah.
There you go. But otherwise, honestly, these games seem to drop in price so quickly, like for these other platforms, third-party games especially, that you can just kind of, wait. And you'll get it. Like you said, you got it for $19.50. And then Wishbone $5 said Phil Spencer basically announced Halo PC on his Twitter, hired the El Dorito team after the so-called shutdown for Microsoft's internal Halo PC project. Yep. It sounds like Halo is coming to PC. In what way, I'm not sure. I'd like to see just the entire Master Chief collection come over, to be honest, because all of Halo is there. But Halo 1 was already on PC. I actually played it a lot on PC way back in the day when I was a freshman in high school, I believe. A lot. Halo 2, not so much because that was Windows Vista and it was tied to it. And nobody liked Windows Vista. So how about we jump into some of the financial stuff? Because I think we all talked about this, right? We also talked about Nintendo's new president, even.
Yeah.
That's going to be voted in. He's definitely going to be voted in, we're pretty sure, because Kimishima seemed to handpick this gentleman. And I always get his last name wrong. It's Furushikawa. Help me out here, Sean. Is that I always mispronounce it.
I think it's like Furukawa.
I have to contort my face to say it just right.
I think it's Furukawa. So Furukawa. That's how I've been saying it. Hell, I'm probably wrong, but
we'll go with it. For Mr. Furukawa will be taking over, we believe, at the end of June. They're going to have to vote him in, but it sounds like everybody's pretty much on board with it. Like I said, Kimishima picked him, pretty much handpicked him. So it sounds like that's happening. He's been around for a while, 1994, 46 years old. He, I think, is the third or fourth youngest because Iwata was 42. And then one of them that was, what's his name? Oh, I don't have his name in front of me. That was like the second or third president. He was the president for 50 years and he became the president when he was like 22 or 23. Forever ago.
He was in diapers.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? A 22-year-old being the CEO of a company? That's crazy. So new person. It sounds like the Yakuza mob boss Kimishima is not going to be the president anymore, but he will fall into the advisory role. And I see two different sides to this. Some people are a little concerned because Kimishima was a very, very stern, very solid leader, obviously at the top that he just got stuff done. And then this guy comes in and he doesn't look as let's get stuff done, kind of guy. Like he looks like a guy you could kind of walk into the office and kind of joke around with about your project coming late. Whereas Kimishima, you're going to walk in terrified that your game might not make the deadline. So are you guys concerned at all about this move? It seemed like Kimishima was going to have to step down eventually because he's 68 and it didn't seem like he was, he's been working for, I think, over 40 years now of his life, 45 years. So he's probably looking towards retirement right now. So what do you guys think about this move? And do you think it's going to be good for Nintendo, or do you think there's a bit of an issue here?
As somebody who I did very cursory reading on his career, yes, I'm glad they're getting a young president. That's my biggest thing. Is I want somebody who can fall into the role, who will stay in the role for a long time. So I feel like Nintendo is really trying to set up all pieces they can for long-term projects. So I'm glad they're not getting a dinosaur in there.
Yeah. I mean, Sean, you seemed okay with this too in your video.
Yeah, I mean, because as much as I like Kimishima, like I kind of feel like, yes, he was very business savvy, but as far as like on the gaming side of things, he was pretty much just doing what was already planned out. So I don't think he really brought any of his. I mean, he was a 67-year-old man. I don't think he has many innovative ideas for gaming. Could be wrong, but usually at that age, you're more concerned with the business side of things. The dude's been with Nintendo since '94, so he knows how shit operates. So I think it'll be fine. It's one of those things you have to see what happens. Like you have to see what kind of person he is. Hear him in interviews, hear what his ideas are, hear what he brings to the table before you can really pass judgment on it. But I mean, it is good. in the one respect, because the one thing that people bitch about with Nintendo the most is the old Japanese guard, the old mentality of gaming, which can be positive, but people want more modern things with they want the online services, the voice chat, the stuff like that, where the old guard just doesn't really understand that probably. Whereas this dude, coming out saying, oh yeah, I grew up playing the Famicom, I'm in my mid 40s, I know how shit works. That's actually a more positive thing. You're seeing it with development teams as well. Like Splatoon obviously was done by a young development team. Miyamoto's been stepping away from game development. So it's sort of a transition, but it's like a transition where the people are being groomed by people that should be there. Like Miyamoto's not just like, oh, go make whatever. He's like, oh, this looks cool, okay, whatever. And then it's not like Kimishima's just like, all right, bitches, bye. He's gonna stick around for a little bit and help with things. So it should be positive, but like I said, it's one of those things where time will tell.
Agent Kuato says hopefully when he does become president, he's able to push 20 million Switches for 2018. He has an interesting work background, so hopefully it goes well. We're actually going to talk about some of the projections that they have, Agent Kuato, pretty soon when we go over some of the fiscal reports, and then we're going to go a little bit into E3. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. But I have a feeling they'll be able to get to 20 million Switches actually with some of the stuff flying around right now. But what we're saying, Max?
I just want to say real quick, 100% what RGT was saying is I feel like something that new Nintendo is doing that I'm absolutely in love with is they're giving a lot of power to the individual developers. I don't know if you guys have been playing Splatoon 2, but that game just keeps evolving. They keep doing bigger and crazier Splatfests. They're adding in tons of weapons, tons of maps, tweaking existing maps with new gameplay mechanics so you still can't be used to it. Like listening to feedback. It's one of the things where it's like that team has clear 100% control. It's like I'm not used to Nintendo being like that, and I love it.
Yeah, it's they just did the they're doing the Splatfest now is Turtles, right? It's Leonardo versus Raphael. It's weird. Although I think that's better than like Ketchup versus Mayo or any of that stuff. I like this one a lot.
The baseball actually. One was great. I'll let you the art for all of them. I love the one where it was like puppies versus kitties, and everybody was drawing furry art. It was crazy.
Oh gosh, that's outstanding. That sounds like it went sideways for him there.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's get into some of the financial stuff. We have Nintendo. Nintendo shipped, according to them, by the end of March, 17.79 million Switch systems. That seems like a pretty good number for what is roughly 13 months, because it's 13 months for the Switch there. That's almost 18 million. That's a pretty good amount coming from a system like the Wii U that sold like, how much did the Wii U even sell? 5 million in its first year?
No.
I feel like it didn't, right? Because it ended at like 13.5 million for 4 years or whatever. So that's a massive difference from those. That's so different to see that happen. But the biggest thing is they also did over 68 million in software units. And the biggest thing is their projections. They have projections of 20 million more Switch units. So they're looking to have nearly 40 million Switch units by next April, which is crazy. And then they want to have an additional 100 million units for games. So they want to sell another 100 million units in game sales, which is crazy. So I'm trying to figure out, I've been talking to people, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to get there. Yeah. The obvious answer is Pokemon will make up a good chunk of that 100 million. That would be probably 15 to 20 million overall, if just from its lifetime over the year, especially if there's two versions, which we think there is. But what else other than, I guess, Smash, right? We have Pokemon and Smash we know are a thing. What else do you guys think is coming? And this can even lead into some of the E3 talk. What do you guys think is really coming here to get them to 100 million units, and I guess even 20 million Switch units?
I mean, so my thing is, I think that they're going to try and drop this is literally based on no facts. I'm just trying to guess. Is I think that we're going to get some sort of new Zelda, whether it be a remaster or a re-release or something, just because those Zelda sales at launch exploded them. I think we're going to get Pokemon, and I definitely think we're going to get Smash like really close to each other. I think they're kind of just going to try and bam, bam, bam into the holiday season.
Wow. Okay. So you're thinking Smash and Pokemon are going to be like real close to each other?
Yeah. Smash, Pokemon, and then something they can put in a bundle that's a project they already have. Like maybe like a Mario Kart bundle. Like I feel like they're going to try and double down on bundles.
I see a lot of people talk about even Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but since we haven't seen that yet, like it's hard for me to say.
Animal Crossing sells pretty well for the handheld. It sells for consoles, and that's where it's going to be weird because the Switch is kind of both. So I'm trying to figure out which way it'll lean. Because from what I remember, on the Wii, I think Animal Crossing was like a 5 million seller, just about. But on like the 3DS and the DS, it was always over 10 million. So I'm trying to figure out if that's going to be the handheld market that gets attracted to it, or if it's going to be mostly the home console market that gets attracted to it. I feel like just everyone will because it's kind of both, but who knows?
The weird thing, man, so many a bigger amount of casual people than I thought are really turned on by Smash on Switch. The amount of like just on the ground chatter of people who are like, yeah, I mean, I liked my Wii U, but it didn't have enough games. And then as soon as they heard Smash on Switch, all of a sudden they're like, cool, so I'm buying a Switch. Like now they can't ignore it, you know?
Ooh, Chad has a good point. What about Mario Maker Switch? That would take over Twitch for a month, like the one on the Wii U did.
That's been rumored forever. I'm not sure if you guys read all those original leaks. The original leaks was that they used Mario Maker to test the screen originally. That to make sure it all. Yes, there was rumors that's because they're like, okay, if this can't do stuff that in detail, then it's not worth it. So I don't know why. I honestly thought we'd have that launch. Like it's weird we still have not seen that.
That'd be a good E3 announcement. That was a Mario Maker. That's like that and like Smash. I think are the two things that are keeping people to keep their Wii U's out of the closet at this point. Because once those show up, they're just that Wii U's getting unhooked. You know, that's that. I still see people play Mario Maker on Twitch all the time, and they have to be sitting there hoping that it's gonna be on the Switch. So they can put that thing to bed. Because even when Smash comes out, Mario Maker's still on the Switch. Man, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else because Retro Studios is still working on something. And that is going to be, I think that's going to be one of the craziest reveals finally. So we can finally stop talking about retro. But I mean, people were talking about the Fortnite rumors. Fortnite on the Switch could do some big stuff, right? That's just a ton of people would show up for that.
That one rumor, though, I think is suspect. The one where it was like, it's going to be exclusive Nintendo content in Fortnite. It's like, okay.
I actually believe that. I'll be honest, I actually believe that. Just because that game is making crazy money. So I bet, if anything, Epic approached them and said straight up, if we can sell Nintendo skins, you keep the profit because we'll sell more copies of it.
I mean, Nintendo did mention in their investor stuff that they're going to work on kind of having their IPs out there in other games as well. So not saying that Fortnite's on the radar, absolutely, but things like Skyrim, where they let them borrow some of the Zelda stuff, you know, from Legend of Zelda. That's something I could absolutely see them do. But would they show up with like, you know, their like a gun, like a big sniper rifle while they're wearing like Mario's hat? I don't know. That's tough. That's
I mean, it is very over the top though.
So yeah, nobody bleeds. Everybody just gets hit. Like it does like a bubble shield when you get hit.
Yep. And then player one, Lycran says, Monolith. There was a lot of job listings. 28 job listings went up for Monolith software, and it sounds like they're hiring for some kind of Xeno game, is what it sounds like with what they're describing with mechs and stuff like that.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't honestly. If they're hiring for people now, we probably won't see it till. I mean, honestly, might be one of the last games on the Switch. You know, it could show up in like its fourth year or something. But there you go. And then here's the other thing. Okay, third-party games could be a very big driving factor. Fire Emblem's going to show up. I don't know how many Fire Emblem games are going to sell compared to something like a Smash. Like it's not in the same selling league as a Smash or Pokemon, obviously. But Fire Emblem.
According to OJ, it's going to sell 50 million copies.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's it. OJ claims that Jesus himself was born with a copy of Fire Emblem in his hand.
Oh, man.
I was surprised that Fire Emblem Warriors shipped a mill in that financial report.
That was good, though. I saw it. I was like, wow, good for them. That's good.
That was because I still haven't even picked that shit up yet. Like, I want to, but
I'm not a big Warriors fan, to be honest. So I don't really get into any of this. I was thinking about giving Hyrule Warriors another chance because I did buy it back on the Wii U and I just kind of fell out of it.
It is really good.
It's so good.
I'm a person who plays a lot of Warriors games, and I'm always kind of like, they're always 8 out of 10. That's one of those few that's like a 10 out of 10 to me. Like just because there are so many different characters.
That's Dan Miller says, stuff Mario Maker on Switch. I want a Mario Kart Maker.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That would be cool.
You can mix it up with some Excitebike tracks and stuff. Put some F-Zero tracks in there, like an actual make some weirdness. Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. That would be cool. That would be neat, especially if you can download them and everything on there. Oh, that'd be so cool. All right, so let me get some sales numbers for Fire Emblem. Okay, do we have any Fire Emblem sales numbers here? I guess I could go on Nintendo's site and check it out. I hate looking at VG charts because they're never right anyway.
They're
never right. Because whenever I type in like sales figures for any one game, it always comes up, oh, here are VG charts. I'm like, no, that's okay.
Why does that site suck so bad? I've never gotten a straight answer.
Because it's just a lot of it is just based on speculation and stuff.
So they do a lot of guessing.
They pull a lot of stuff out of their butt. That's so weird. Okay, wow, weird. It pitches itself as like such an accurate source. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm looking at Fire Emblem stuff and I'm seeing like 2 to 3 million for the different titles on the 3DS.
I know the last 3DS game, Fire Emblem, wasn't Awakening, was it?
It was Echoes.
Echoes.
I think Nintendo went on record as saying that was the best selling Fire Emblem.
Well, it should be in their investors stuff. Because they reported a bunch of numbers for all games, if you remember, so including 3DS software. So we should have here we go. I should be able to look at it here and we get an idea of if I can find it. Here we go. Title sales. There we go. So I should be able to find it here if I scroll down and I've got to blast through all the Pokemon like X and Y, 16.29 million pieces. Pokemon X and Y, yeah. Mario Kart 7 is the best-selling 3DS game at 17 million. These are all updated, by the way, during this week. Yeah, Mario Kart 7, 17. Isn't that crazy? Speaking of which, while we're here, how about I go down the list of some of the games that they have reported? The best-selling game on the Switch right now is Mario Odyssey at 10.41 million pieces. That's an obscene amount, by the way, if you really sit down and think about it, because it came out in October.
It makes no sense. That makes oh my gosh, that number is too big.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which again is technically a re-release kind of Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U, right? 9.22 million pieces. That's, by the way, actually in this past quarter, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold better than Mario Odyssey.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Mitchell Miller, stuff Mario Kart Maker. Give me Nintendo Maker with Mario, Zelda, and Kirby Maker modes. You're reaching for the stars there, man.
Yeah.
That would be crazy though, but they'll probably break that up in all different types of games. Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe though, 9.22 million. Zelda Breath of the Wild, this is just the Switch version. I believe with the Wii U version, it's near 11 million, but just on the Switch, 8.48 million. Splatoon 2 is over 6 million now. 6.02 million.
Yeah.
Yep. 1-2 Switch at 2.29 million.
Ooh.
I don't know how that happened, but there it is. ARMS 1.85 million, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is at 1.31 million. And then Kirby, which only tracked for about 2.5 weeks, 1.26 million.
I thought that was pretty crazy.
That's pretty good. That's actually really good for Kirby. I got to give him credit. That's
crazy.
Surprising. Fire Emblem's not on this chart, so it's definitely Fire Emblem's at least less than 6 million because Tamagotchi Life is 6 million on the 3DS. So it's not on this chart that they have here for their like top selling sales units. So I think honestly, Fire Emblem on the Switch will probably be a 4 to 5 million unit seller if I had to take a guess. But I know JRPGs don't generally sell like crazy numbers. I don't think it's gonna be a Xenoblade. I think it'll be closer to like a 1-2 Switch, but somewhere between 1-2 Switch and Splatoon 2 probably. I have a feeling the game will be good. But.
Yeah, I mean that's still good. Like not every game has to sell 40 billion copies. I just don't know if a lot of people are going to go out to get a Switch for Fire Emblem. Like I feel like that's a game people who already own the system will go out and buy, but people who don't have a Switch won't go out and buy it for Fire Emblem. Does that make sense? I kind of agree with you.
Well, I will say, just to be devil's advocate, it depends on the gameplay because let's face it, the original Fire Emblem on Game Boy Advanced actually did sell a lot of Game Boy Advances. That was like one of the first handheld tactical RPGs. So if they pitch it as like, if it's as good as like Path of Radiance, but on a handheld, yeah, I can imagine people going out to stores just to get it, especially nerds like me.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna go out there and get it, obviously, because they buy all the games, but I'll go out and get I buy too many games sometimes, but I'll go out and get that, obviously. And then and we'll see. But Animal Crossing is a big seller for them if they can get that out this year. Absolutely. That's a big seller, and people I don't even think realize it half the time.
Yeah, it has a large fan base that most people just sleep on.
Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS, 11.69 million pieces.
I bought 3 copies of it personally, and I don't even like it.
It's more copies. Let me put
it as gifts.
Let me put it to you this way: Animal Crossing New Leaf has sold 2.5 million units more than Smash Bros on the 3DS.
God, what the hell?
There you go. That should tell you everything you know right there. The only games above Animal Crossing are Mario games and Pokemon games. So there you go. There you go. People do say Animal Crossing a lot. It's a quiet seller, but it's a big seller. So don't be surprised on that coming out and everything. But they are doing their event. It's gonna be a big stream that they're gonna do. They're direct June 12th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon my time, probably 11 your time, Max, 10 your time, something like that. You're somewhere in the middle, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm central time. We got Texas time.
But June 12th, not too far away. So 6 weeks or so away from now?
Can I do a mini rant on E3 real quick? It'll be like a 2-second.
Oh,
rant.
sure, go for it.
What the hell is with this scheduling of things? Okay, do they not understand that some people have big plans for E3? I'm looking at the E3 schedule of things. You go on the E3 website. It says E3 June 12th through June 14th, and it's like, okay, cool. That's the chunk of time that I need. And then you look at Bethesda. You look at Microsoft. When are their presentations? Sunday the 10th. Sunday the 10th. That is not the 12th. Through the 14th. That is the 10th. What the hell is that?
But you can blame Microsoft for that. So Microsoft 2 years ago made their press conference on Sunday before it started and ended up getting tons of press conference, and now it's an arms race to see who can do it the earliest. I had to skip a convention last year because everybody was doing their conferences on Saturdays and Sundays, and so I just couldn't. I had to stay at my desk.
Yeah, it's annoying. That's all.
Yeah, I did the stuff for it last year, and it went well, actually.
Yeah,
we got
stuff for it, but
what?
I said we're gonna do the stuff for it, but
it's gonna be
jobs.
E3's gonna be sweet this year. Wait till you guys see some of the stuff we got, but there's gonna be some cool stuff going on.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're gonna look super professional. It's gonna be fun though. We'll be doing a lot of stuff for it, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that, definitely. But Microsoft is weird for that. I prefer it being during the week if I can do that, obviously. But we'll see. I'm hoping Microsoft comes out swinging because there's a lot of stuff they need to do. Crackdown 3 did get rated. If you guys saw that, it got rated in Brazil. Mature rating, obviously, we kind of expected that. But usually when something gets rated, usually that means it's almost finished or it is finished to the point where they can present it to the ratings board. So my question here is, when is Crackdown coming out? Because is it coming out like sooner than we think? Like, is it not a November release? Is it like an August release? Is it a July release?
I would be 100%. I put all my money on late June, maybe July or August. Like, I think that they're trying to throw that out as early as possible.
They could do it on Game Pass, because that's the thing. They have Game Pass now. They don't have to rely on this first-party sales up front, more over time. So you're right. They could do that, Max, but they could also pull a Sea of Thieves and give us a partially finished game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, that's kind of what, as bad as it is, I know I've been appearing on a lot of Xbox podcasts recently, and they hate when I say this, but it seems like with Game Pass, Microsoft realizes they can release a purposely unfinished game. People feel like they're getting it for free, and then they can just take as long as they want to come out with patches.
I mean, what's Sean usually say about that? I mean, you're not wrong. Right?
Hey, wrong. No, I mean, and sort of a sidebar, but we do get a new big Game Pass game in the month of May, which is State of Decay 2.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
I'm trying to beat State of Decay 1, or I don't know if that's a game you can beat. It's all about like base building and stuff, but I'm trying to beat it as much as I can before the sequel comes out.
This one's online, so we can play it, right? We play together.
I believe so.
I thought the
Sweet.
first one was online as well. I haven't done enough research on it yet.
I know they've done a lot of work with the second one to make it like, because they're doing a lot of multiplayer games. That's what Xbox is, really. But here's the thing. Crackdown 3 will have been in development for as long as God of War.
Wow.
I'm sure it'll be just as high quality.
Guys, we saw this. They showed it to us back in 2014, I think, is when they showed us Crackdown 3. And it definitely had been in the works for at least 6-7 months to get that all ready to show us, obviously. Maybe even a year. So that's going to be a comparison. People compared God of War to Sea of Thieves. No, God of War is going to compare it to Crackdown 3 because Crackdown 3 has been in the works for longer than Sea of Thieves, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's going to be real hard not to compare it to those original teasers because those first teasers are him machine gunning down a building, running up it as it explodes and punching a dude and stuff like. If the game doesn't actually do that 4 years later, I am going to rip it apart. I'll be honest right now. I'm pinning it on the trailers.
Yeah, that's going to be. Here's the thing: we haven't seen it so long. It's been delayed. Are we sure we're even seeing the same game anymore? Like, is it going to show up and it's going to look completely different? That's my question.
Final Fantasy 15, that bitch. Just it's a different game.
It could happen though. I mean, we haven't seen it. The last in-depth gameplay trailer I remember seeing that was really in-depth and actually showed some stuff was that E3 2015. They showed that like commercial with Terry Crews and everything, but they showed some flashes of gameplay, but nothing like how they showed back then, where they actually showed it like in-game kind of. So they could show up with a whole different game for all I know.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of rumors. We think Perfect Dark's going to be there.
Yeah. I bet money on it. I think 100% Perfect Dark's going to be there.
Yeah, we think there's something going on with Banjo. Man, I just hope Microsoft has some good stuff to show. But Crackdown at least got rated, which means it could. What if they dropped it at E3?
I actually have a theory something is going to do that. I have a feeling that we're going to get a surprise demo or a surprise game at E3. I don't know what, but if it's Crackdown, I'd give them credit. That'd be pretty
I really like this. I love that, by the way, is when they do that kind of stuff. Remember when we were watching that? I always come back to this, Max, when we were watching the Nintendo Direct and they were like Octopath Traveler demo out now.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that stuff.
Yeah. You and I have that. We'll always have that as a great memory of literally us being on stream and while they're like pressing search, man. Well, and they did the same thing with remember the PT demo. There was the PlayStation Experience, and they said like, "This is a weird trailer," and then the trailer ends with "In store now." I was like, "What the hell does that even mean?"
Yep, that was great. That's awesome. So I hope they do something. I hope they do a quick drop. That'd be really cool to see. And we'll see. I just hope Microsoft's good. Last year they at least showed us a bunch of games. There just wasn't a lot of interesting ones there. So I'm hoping this year is just actual interesting stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they don't do something stupid with Banjo. Banjo-Kazooie. Hopefully they don't. But man,
they put him in Crackdown 3.
Yeah. You imagine if Banjo like pops out with like an AK-47.
Especially if they still did the Nintendo 64 soundbites. Like, get down on the ground, motherfucker! Like, oh my god!
Oh man, and Nintube 93, you're killing me here. Star Wars Rogue Squadron reboot on the Switch. I want that so badly, but I don't think so. I would love to see that though. But Star Wars is EA like controls that right now with the contract and deal they have. Yeah. But I mean, I guess they technically could if they wanted to. Factor 5's out there.
Yeah.
Really, if they're going to do any kind of remaster, they have to do Metroid Prime. That's all they need to do. Throw that thing into a compilation and put it out on the Switch.
Yeah, did you see that there was people with that mock-up box art that's passing around the Twitter today? Looks gorgeous.
Yep. Oh, speaking of box art, can we just talk about the Octopath Traveler box art for a minute?
Oh, dude, it is 100%. It looks like Final Fantasy VI, and have you
seen it, Sean?
I don't think I have.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. This is
It is legit gorgeous, man. It looks so 100%. This looks like retro Final Fantasy, and I'm eating it up with 2 spoons.
It's something else, is all I'm gonna say. It's pretty ridiculous. Let me pull that up there so I'll do a little screen share thing here, and we can check it out because it is insane. There we go.
Oh, that is nice.
Right? Let me share this so everybody can see. There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. Yep. Tell me that doesn't look awesome. It gave me like feelings of like old school Final Fantasy Tactics kind of when I looked at it, or Bravely Default, of course, because the same producer and everything. But man, I looked at that and I was like, that reminds me of 90s RPGs, you know, like the 1990s when we were doing JRPGs back then. That is I'm so happy. And at first they showed it, Sean, and they were like, here's the box art. And we were pretty happy, but then we kind of thought it was only for Japanese audiences. And they're like, oh no, that's for the West also.
Yeah.
Well, fans are so excited about this. People have actually been dissecting the front box art, noticing the 4 people in front are apparently the 4 noble characters, like people who are all from royalty, and they're all wearing dark clothes, and behind them are all like the 4 peasant characters, and they're all wearing white. So we're already like, people are so obsessed with this box art. We're being like, what does this mean for the overarching themes?
It's just it looks great, man. I'm so happy they went with that design. I have to get this game physically now, and notice there is no download required at the top. Yeah, people in the chat are like, wait a minute, what? That's that's the box art right there. That is, I'm so happy. It's so far away. It's July, man.
Yeah,
I'm ready to play this now.
I'm gonna try and beg everybody I can at Square Enix to make sure I get a copy like a month early, just so I can beat every single side quest.
That's going to be awesome. I think I'm going to be really curious to see the sales numbers on Octopath Traveler, by the way, when those come out, because I feel like this might end up being one of the better sellers for JRPGs on the system.
Yeah.
Xenoblade is what's going to compete with, but I think it'll get enough people on board to pick it up, and it might actually end up outselling Xenoblade. So yeah. Oh, go ahead, Max. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think this is going to be the freaking next generation of, Bravely Default. Bravely Default, they kind of just put it out there and ended up just skyrocketing sales so much that even Square Enix was like, what the hell? So I think that this is going to be the next, 100%, I believe that this is going to be the next, like, Bravely Default of, like, a niche JRPG that ends up just getting completely adopted.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I really hope it does well. I really do.
I think it will.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really hoping it does. So we also had Wolfenstein's box art get posted on Amazon, and it appears to have that download required box at the top.
Ooh.
And it's very confusing to people, mostly because it's on the eShop and it's less than 14 gigabytes. It's 13.7 gigabytes, which is confusing to people because that can fit on a 16 gigabyte cart, much like what they did with Doom and Skyrim. So we're not really sure what's going on right now. A lot of people believe that it's using like an 8 gigabyte cart, and they're making us download the additional 6 or so gigabytes. But that seems weird for them to do that when they didn't do that for the other games.
I think I could give a reason to why they would do that, though.
Do you think it's because Nintendo's not helping them out with this one?
No, maybe that, but I also think Wolfenstein didn't sell that well. Whereas Doom, I think Doom sold much better than Wolfenstein did. So it could just be a cost-cutting measure on their end. This game didn't sell great on the PS4, didn't sell great on the Xbox One. It's coming to the Switch late at full price. Maybe, we should just skimp out on the cart.
It's possible. You might be right.
My theory is that it's to try and cut load times. Anything loading off your internal card is going to be faster than going off an external card. And this game has some really big assets.
You might be right, Matt, Sean, about that cost-cutting measure, because it didn't sell well on the other systems.
Yeah.
It came out at a bad time, though. It came out on the same day that Assassin's Creed and Mario Odyssey came out, so a lot of people's money was sucked to those two games mostly.
Right.
It wasn't a good day for it to come out. Yeah, you might. It's hard to say. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe Nintendo didn't offer to, because I think they published Skyrim, Nintendo, or they helped them in some way with that.
Yeah.
They did something with them with that. So I don't know, but it's a bit of a downer. I will say that, because I don't know what the point of buying anything physical is if you have to still download half the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like it.
Yeah. Second 10 says, have you guys played Langrisser or Soma Bringer?
I don't know if those are words, so no.
Those are RPGs.
Those are old RPGs, I believe. I thought Langrisser was on the that's Sega. What was that on? I thought that was Sega. I thought it was a Genesis game.
No, I don't think so.
I'll have to look that up. I've heard. I know that one. Because they had which game am I thinking of on the Sega? Then there was a game that I had.
Landstalker. You're thinking
Langrisser. It was platform of origin was the Mega Drive.
Oh, was it?
Oh yes, yeah. I remember I made repros of that game because they translated to English on romhacking.net.
Yeah.
Do you think an amiibo to life game would sell? I don't.
No, we saw that it didn't with that super awful Animal Crossing board game that required amiibos.
Oh gosh, is that what that was?
Yeah. A lot of people consider it the absolute worst. You actually had to scan each amiibo to move your pieces.
Oh, really? I did not play that game.
It's considered by many to be the worst EU game.
Oh no, I did not play that game. It's probably a good thing. I completely missed that game. Is that what Animal Crossing was that called? Is that like the parade game? Is that what I'm thinking of?
No, it was called Amiibo Festival, I think. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Chad Tronic did a giant video where he basically reviewed it, talked about why it was so bad, and then burned it. And so now when people as a joke at his Q&As will be like, what do you hate? And he just shows literally that game on fire. Like this one.
Ooh, that's a good point there. King David creates ready for a horrifying thought, boys. Pokemon series amiibo.
Ugh.
Like that would be something else, man.
Well, they also
collectors go nuts.
The cards now with the amiibo.
That's true. Still waiting for Secret of Mana Collection English. Same here. Everyone's waiting for that one, man. Will McConnell. Everyone's waiting for that.
Is that in Japan?
Yep.
Sorry, what system? That's in Japan, but I mean, what system's it for?
Switch.
Yeah. If I import it,
it's been there forever.
If I import it, could I sort of get through it?
It's all in Japanese. And there's a lot of text for Secret of Mana 3 or 2. You probably could, because I think on GameFAQs they actually have full translations of it where you can kind of play while you're looking at your computer screen, basically. But man, I don't know what Square's doing. Stop being lazy and bring that over, because I'd buy that day one. The box art on that looks great too, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it looks really cool. I would buy that instantly. Leo Aguilar, favorite Pokemon starter, guys?
Charizard.
Yeah, Charizard.
Dude, if he gave me Charizard in the beginning, I'd be destroying Brock. I have to go with Charmander, who eventually becomes Charizard.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Here's Charizard." Like, whoa.
I will say my favorite Pokemon ever is Mewtwo. I've played a lot of games. I still love Mewtwo the most.
Interesting, Mewtwo, huh? Okay. I was like Charizard because that was that card I couldn't get. Because back then Charizard was like, I think he was over $100 even back then, right?
Yeah,
I remember. He's one of that fire spin, and you just played that, and the game was over.
Two kids got in a really bloody fist fight on my playground trying to get a copy of that. Of that
Charizard?
Card. Yeah, they literally beat each other up for that card.
What? Really? Jeez. Oh man, I just remember now they're really expensive. Like if you go and find it now, it's so hard to find a first edition one that's like decent for under like $200 or something like that. Abra was a good one. Everyone wanted Charizard though. Some people like Blastoise, because I think my brother would always pick Squirtle. Bulbasaur always got left out though. Oh well. So we also have to go over kind of what happened with the Switch, which is very, very interesting. On Twitter, they shared an exploit for the Switch, which is weird because it is impossible for Nintendo to patch through firmware. Mm-hmm. It is a hardware modification. And at this point, people in the chat might not like that. Like if you go online, you talk about this, people don't like that YouTubers and other people talk about it because they're worried they're going to spread the knowledge of it around. Trust me, it's out there. If we talk about it or not, it's out there. Yeah. People know about it. They talked about it on IGN. They talk about it on Poly. They talk about it everywhere. So us talking about it, we're just talking about what's on the internet now anyway. This modification that you guys have seen now has actually been behind the scenes for a while. 7 months, I think now. So people have known about this. Essentially what they're doing when they bridge those 2 points is holding down the proverbial home button that then gets you into that USB mode, the RCM mode, and then you can do whatever you want. People have loaded Linux on there. They've already loaded up Dolphin on it. They're doing everything to it basically.
It reminds me a lot of when the way you would jailbreak and hack the PSP is there was a low frequency charge. You'd basically get a special battery and then do a low frequency charge that would think it was in the factory, and then it would say, okay, I need new firmware. What's in this what's in the memory card slot? You could just install custom firmware. This exploit reminds me of this so much.
Yeah, I actually would cut open batteries occasionally and make those. They're called Pandora batteries.
Yep,
I would
Pandora
actually
batteries.
make them. You take a knife, you cut the battery open, then you cut a trace, then you close it back up. Usually I'd tape it back together because I'm extremely safe about it. And you put it in, you hold L, I believe you put the battery in with the magic memory card in, and then it does that, and that's how it hacks it. It's really crazy. But this is even easier, which is crazy because all you're doing is bridging 2 points, and then you have it plugged into your computer, and then you run it, and that's it. It's insane. Like, it's so crazy. People are making like little 3D printed jigs that you hold in to the side, and then you can boot up and everything in it. So the Switch at this point, because they put that out there, they were holding it behind the scenes for a while. Now everybody is designing for the Switch homebrew at this point because it's the easiest thing to do. And you're going to see custom firmware. You're going to see everything happening to it right now. But Nintendo is or has been working on a solution, because I talked about this back when they introduced firmware 5.0. They're actually designing a revised Tegra chip that's going to be going out in the next month or so, probably. T214 is what it's called.
So buy a Switch now, so that way you can hack it.
I was telling people, your Switch right now, if you own one right this second, yours is going to be valuable in the future because it is hackable. Whereas the ones that'll start showing up in the next month or so, specifically they want to get it out before the online launches, will be less valuable because they won't have that same exploit. They're going to basically remove those 2 pins and clean up some of the security on the Tegra chip. Is what's going to happen. So yours right now is like that PS3 that's less than firmware 355 back in the day, or that PSP 1000s were very valuable for a while until the 2000s got hacked.
Oh yeah, I used to sell PSPs at an entertainment store, and people would be like, "Hey, could I look at that PSP for no reason?" And they'd look at it and they'd be like, 2000. Like, okay, I'm not buying this. Thank you.
Yep. So your Switch right now is worth some money. So hold on to it, because in like 4 years, they'll be like, is that Switch 1000 and what is it? The XAW 100 or something like that. And then they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. $600.
I am thinking about hacking mine just to see if, like, just probably buying one to be my main Switch and then hacking this one just to see how hard it is.
Here's the thing. You don't actually leave anything on the system when you hack it. Like it all runs separate from the Switch, and you don't actually load anything onto it right now. Everything, like if you run Linux, it just runs, and then when you turn it off and turn it back on, it's all gone.
Oh yeah, so it's just what they used to call a chicken wire mod, where you're like putting stuff over the programming.
Yep. So right now it's all side mounted, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But eventually we'll get to a point where it just flashes the whole thing. So people can have fun with it. It doesn't sound like it'll get past 20 million Switches out there. They'll be able to do that. Which, if they end up getting to their 100 million mark that they desperately want, be like 20% out there. And honestly, to be completely honest with everybody, a lot of people aren't going to do this, even if they have the Switch in front of them that can do it. Let's be real here. People are bridging points. People are scared to take screws out of the back of the thing. You think you're going to start bridging points with pieces of metal? Well,
and I even feel like it's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people like me who end up hacking it because they're curious, but still buying all the games. Like I own 3 hacked PSPs, and I also own over 100 actual physical PSP games. So it's like, I think there's going to be a lot of people that just ignore it.
Mm-hmm. You will, especially since the online is going to be launching. That's one of the easiest deterrents for hacking your system, is a good online system. That's why no one wants to hack the PS4 or the Xbox One, really, because we all play online. So
remember the original Xbox, I used to have one of those super boxes that you could mess with everything, and we were always so afraid of being like, don't, in any game, do not click Xbox Live. It'll immediately brick the console.
I still have 2 of those original Xboxes that are heavily modded.
I've
Great
got
systems,
one.
man.
I got one.
Great systems. That's like one of the best systems to mod. Love that thing. It basically turns into a new arcade, like a little arcade box.
Yeah, I put MAME on it. I have every Super Nintendo game. I have everything. I love it.
That's outstanding. Yeah, I love that system for that. But people are worried about how it affects sales. Again, not much. If anything, people will run out and buy a Switch now.
Right.
But you're not going to see, seriously, 1% of the population that owns a Switch right now, like the Switch population, is going to do anything with this. And they'll have fun with it. That's great. But once I saw they have to load up Linux for it, I think a lot of people are out.
Yeah.
Like they're not getting into that. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, I got a video I am editing it. It'll be out tomorrow. It's such a big mess.
So there's a lot of rumor and speculation going on right now in the background after what happened on Reddit, which I think a lot of people saw, right?
Yeah.
Where someone who says they're a Japanese game designer, they deleted all their accounts, by the way.
He's a real guy. I double checked. He's a real guy, but he basically he's deep in the Japanese indie scene and he works on a lot of different projects. So because of it, he talks to a lot of different developers, but it's hard to confirm if this is directly from one of those developers.
Yep. So, but the fact that it's out there now is like, people are like, oh man, because it's so easy to believe it, right?
Yeah.
With what's happening. I mean, they even basically threw CyberConnect 2 under the bus, right? Saying their stuff was unusable.
Yeah.
And everything we saw apparently was done by them. So the game we might see might not even be the game that we've been seeing. So not only did they introduce the game to us way too early in the first place, they showed us a game that we probably aren't going to like, it's not going to be the same game we see when they do show it to us. But now I'm really terrified we're not going to see this game till the PS5.
I kind of want to defend CyberConnect. I'm such a big CyberConnect 2 fan. I literally own all 7.hack games. I love them a bunch. And they're so good at doing multi-part games like this. But something they have a bad habit of is they outsource a lot. They'll be making like the core pieces and they just hire 15 teams to like make all the assets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that maybe Square Enix came there, realized what the hell are you doing, and fired them all like before all the pieces came back together. So I think they may have just gotten a really broken pile of pieces and not even like a beginning of a game.
So you're thinking just because there were so many people like coming together working on it that
Yes.
CyberConnect was trying to manage, you think Square was like, whoa, there's too many people involved here from all over the place?
1,000,000%. I fully believe that's what's happened, because from what I've read, that's how CyberConnect gets multi-part games done so fast, is that they don't mind being like, all right, we're going to write the story in-house, we're going to design the characters in-house, but then we're going to get like this person to design the physics of this motorcycle and then this person to design the weapons. And it all comes together nicely at the end when the glue is dry. But in the process, it looks like a mess. And that's why I understand his term. He used the word unusable because, yeah, if you got a bunch of like random character pieces, you're like, what the hell?
But
Yeah.
but
Go
here's something. You know this, and you are not a game developer. So shouldn't Square know that too? Like that's how they make their games.
Well,
like that's sort of their philosophy.
So one of the main things that people have been saying back is that one thing that Dan Tsukasa said that is definitely 100% wrong is he said that they got rid of CyberConnect, and apparently that's not true. They moved 80% of the CyberConnect team away from the project, but between 15 and 20% is still there. So I definitely thought if you're keeping the original people on, that must be the people who are probably liaisons to all these outside teams. Like they're definitely, something about his information is definitely inaccurate to some degree.
Right.
But it's hard to say. I would like to think that Square Enix is able to salvage as much as possible.
Well, there's definitely something bad happening. Like something's wrong there because they pulled it and brought it internal, right? So
Yeah.
something wasn't working out. And that's
yeah,
where I think a lot of like, usually where there's smoke, there's fire.
His leaks specifically point to the fact that it was just way, 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 way behind schedule. That it wasn't that it was particularly destroyed. It's that they specifically wanted it to a certain point and it was not close to that.
I mean, if it was on schedule, we probably would have seen stuff about it by now,
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I see it too.
Yeah, I just hope, because the scariest thing is in his notes, he specifically says, you're talking like there's 4 years of development done because it's 4 years since we saw it. There's actually 2 years of development done because they had to destroy everything CyberConnect did.
Man.
That's like, yeah, those are the words that he said that people in the Final Fantasy community are freaking out about.
Oh man. Hey, Sean, look, somebody gave us $5 to yell at us for a little bit.
I'm not trying to offend you, but I feel you're a bitch. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Don't take it personally. Who's RT85?
Yeah, retweet 85.
Why would you pay someone to?
I feel like that's the most respectful. Imagine someone like spitting in $100 bill and hand it to you. It's like, yeah, I'm going to keep this. I don't care. It's $100.
I was going to say, what? You could have just typed that in the chat.
Yeah. Let's have a deal. All right, whatever y'all type, as long as it's got a donation, we will read it. So if you want to say, Max, your glitchy, slowed down, bad internet sucks, I'll read it.
That's okay. There you go. All right, cool.
I mean, that is $5.
Yeah. I was gonna say. All right then. So we covered Final 7. Did you guys see the trademarks for quite a few things actually from Nintendo? Japanese Nintendo actually reported that. Few things. Paper Mario. Interesting. Dr. Mario and Punch Out with 2 exclamation points. And then Mario Party, of course. Maybe it's a better. Maybe it's a
Stop
better
it.
Mario Party.
Stop it.
I'm hoping. But Paper Mario though, that's one that kind of excites me. Although the last one wasn't very good, from what I remember. A lot of people didn't like it because there wasn't any real reason to, I guess, to go into battles, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't level up or anything from it, so most people ran from battles the whole time. I would love for them to like do something more along the lines of the GameCube version, the 1,000-Year Door. But do you guys? So out of these titles here, do you think any of them could be an E3 reveal? A Mario Party, a Paper Mario, a Dr. Mario, or a Punch Out?
I don't think so.
Those all seem like games you would see at a direct to me.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, these are definitely the type of things that people will buy them, people will like them, but they're not exactly things you put out on the main stage to boost console sales.
You know, what'd be cool is if they used Little Mac as a DLC character in ARMS.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
And Dalsum. I'm still waiting on Dalsum. Put Dalsum in that game.
That would be good.
That's how his name's pronounced. I thought it was Dalsim or Dalsim. I don't know.
Dude, I used to call him Dahi Small when I was a little kid. Like,
I used to call Bahamut in the video games. I called him Bahamut as a kid, and I was like, "Oh man, I finally got the Bahamut."
Sean, I realized something. You told me the other day you haven't gone to the movies in forever, right?
yeah, Terminator 3 was the last movie I saw.
My God!
Wow, jeez, you should go see. So you haven't seen any of the Marvel movies then?
Nah, man.
Oh wow, interesting.
I don't do comics and stuff like that. Like, I don't really care. So it's like Spider-Man's kind of cool, but
Did you see Homecoming at all?
No.
Homecoming. Oh wow, okay.
I saw.
Homecoming's great.
Like, I was surprised that Tobey Maguire dude wasn't Spider-Man anymore. I was like, oh, what happened to him? Where'd he go?
That was 2 Spider-Mans ago.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I didn't even know that.
Oh man, yeah, we were talking about Infinity War before we came on air here, but we didn't want to. We were too worried we'd start accidentally saying things we shouldn't that would ruin it for people.
Yeah, it's so good it blew my mind into dust. I disintegrated.
It was a good movie. I liked it a lot. It was a good culmination of everything, and now we have to wait a whole another year to see the part 2. But it was good though. Go see it if you get a chance. I think it's opening to $250 million this weekend, something ridiculous.
Yeah. It's good. I'm really excited now because we're getting 2 movies in between the next Avenger. Before the next Avengers, we're going to get Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then we're also getting Captain Marvel. And I actually like Captain Marvel. She's a really interesting hero, so I'm very curious how they're going to do her.
Yeah, they got to get her movie in before next May.
It's May. I think Captain Marvel comes out early next year. Ant-Man comes out late this year.
We have to get Captain Marvel in with Infinity Wars Part 2 coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it was a good movie. I liked it. Go watch it. So I guess anything else you guys want to talk to from this week that I missed? Anything good? Did I miss anything?
I don't know offhand. God of War. My God, God of War. We already touched that.
Sean, did you take another shot at your Labo stuff?
No. Oh, God, no.
Were you surprised to see Night Trap come to the Switch?
I was pleasantly surprised because stupid Howard Lincoln didn't.
I mean, he made the Nintendo viewpoint of it seem bad for fans forever now. So
yeah,
it's good. I mean, it's good to see it finally happen. Why not?
I'll pick it up just as I already have it on the PS4 and I still have a Sega CD copy actually, but I'll pick it up just for the factor of sticking to Howard Lincoln.
That'd be funny if it sold best on the Switch. That'd be hilarious.
I was hoping he had a Twitter because I wanted to harass him on Twitter about it, but he's like 80.
So he's not allowed to have a Twitter then?
Well, I mean, he's allowed. He just doesn't have one.
Yeah, if you read the Twitter of people who are 80 and have a Twitter, it's typically really misspelled and awful.
So why don't we do some? You guys want to do some questions? Questions, people, questions. All right, guys, go ahead and ask away. Oh, okay. If Octo is made by the same guys as Bravely Default, then I see it doing at least 2 to 3 million. And see, you ruined it. Batman dies in Infinity War.
I
Keep
know
up
it.
the great content, dudes.
That's all right. I'm a huge Superman fan. I don't care about Batman.
Yeah. Oh man, that's bad. Yeah, I played a little more with the Labo though. Did a little more of that, but Sean, we still got to put your robot together, my man.
Are you bored with it though? I feel like you're bored with it already.
If I was better at piano, I'd have more fun with it.
Can I play the piano anymore?
Yeah.
Well, of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
I think I've put 7 hours in the Labo so far.
Do you feel like it's
building them and everything?
That's
I'm
good.
saving one of them for you though. I'm saving the bike for you though. So
That'd
you
be
can just
fun.
try it. I'll on Tuesday I'll bring it with me with the game, the cartridge, and you can take it home with you and try it out.
Okay.
I think you'll have a more enjoyable experience that way because you'll be able to put it together and play with it and everything. Whereas the robot, obviously, that's a massive gargantuan task to go from start to finish with that as like your first project. Like I saw some other people who did videos on Antu did video, and he started with like the easiest one, and then he went to the next one, and then he finished with the robot. It was like, I think that's kind of how you should be doing it, you know? Whereas Sean, you just got the robot. You were like, robot.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool.
What Dan Miller says, what if Rockstar announced Red Dead and GTA 5 for the Switch at E3? GTA 5, yes. Red Dead, I don't know, man. Red Dead is a mess, to be honest.
Yeah, for
the first one.
Oh, if it's the first one, yeah.
Like that one, that's not on PC for a reason. So, yeah, I don't know. I GTA 5 I think is coming to the Switch. Red Dead though, I'd be shocked if they brought that.
Yeah,
maybe they'll bring the real Red Dead one, Red Dead Revolver, because that game's so outdated now. I'm sure they could bring that over.
I like that game.
It's a good one.
Game. Chad Sarant asks, do you think Labo will have long legs? I guess like just over time. Yeah, but it had
Good question. You got to answer, Sean.
Well, we have to talk about Labo first.
Yeah, Labo only sold through 30% of its shipment, I believe, to Japan. So they'll stay on the store shelves as long as they need to sell. I mean, we'll see in Media Crate next week, which I'll check out, but I don't know. I don't unless they bring out more stuff. They have no IPs on it. Mario's not on it, you know, like nothing like that. Link isn't on it. So I feel like it's harder to sell that way.
Well, I know they are making more they're doing more kits. But it's just a matter of when they do it and if they incorporate some IPs into it and stuff. I don't know. I still think it's sort of treading in the gimmicky section. But
did you see that a developer was actually using it with a rhythm game? They used the piano.
Yes, I did see that.
That's cool. That's a good idea if they could do that. I just bring in Sega. Was it Bass Fishing from the Dreamcast? I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Get that fishing rod going.
then you'll suddenly have me purchasing a Labo.
Well, I mean, I got to answer.
Nintendo. Yeah, they asked you a question, Sean.
I haven't done Coke since I was like 17. So.
God, no. I've never done it. I'm actually straight edge in real life. I don't do anything. I don't really drink. I've never smoked. I've never done anything.
I was always more of a downer. Like I like downers. Like I wanted to just, you know, get messed up and then just like veg out on a couch and like
sounds so awful, man. Drugs confuse me, man.
Yeah. I mean
real on here.
Yes.
Let me tell you about the bad times.
Is that around when you discovered Metal Gear Solid 2, like you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool. Oh, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2, man. Good game. Thomas Gawthorne says, "Hey Spawn, love the show. Do you think the eShop needs sorting out like the 3DS to sort the indies first party AAA games out, or should it be left the same? Or do you guys have any other ideas?" I think the eShop desperately needs a facelift. We kind of talked about that earlier. I think they need sections because right now you go on there and it's hard to find. It's hard to navigate, like to find whatever you want. And the best selling generally tends to be like stuff you already know about anyway. So I feel like they need a lot of work to that eShop. That's just me. I think it'll change with that online when that shows up. I think that's going to be part of it too. I think that's going to change. the way it looks, hopefully.
Well, games just get buried on there like so easily.
And a lot of games keep showing up. So
Yeah.
No, my problem is lately, I'm trying to go in there and I can't find stuff. And then I have the problem of I'll be in the search bar trying to remember a game I've seen recently, and if I don't spell it exactly right, it's just not there. So I keep losing games in the eShop where I see something I'm like, oh, I'll buy that later. Gone forever. So it's like, well, you just lost a sale.
Jay Chowders, what games can make 8.5 million sales a month to make 100 by next year? By April next year, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Smash. I want to say Metroid. Metroid's is next holiday though. I don't think Metroid's showing up till next year, late next year. And then maybe Yoshi's coming this year too. Yoshi's probably a like Kirby style sales, like 2 million, 3 million in its first like couple months. So it's gonna be a combination of a lot of games. Then third party games. We keep forgetting whatever we talk about Nintendo system. We always only talk about Nintendo games. There could be some third party games showing up. You get that GTA 5 on there.
Well, I mean, I do think Dark Souls on Switch is going to sell some consoles.
You think so? Even if it's like months late, you think?
Yeah, I do think. So I know a lot of people in the Dark Souls community who are really, really hardcore, and there's this interesting thing of PC people who really love gaming on Steam, who do not own a console, are buying the Switch because they like to play it while they're like at PC conventions and stuff. It's their only way to kind of game without moving their entire computer, having a multi-$1,000 laptop. So I do feel like if you told them, hey, you really like playing Dark Souls, do you want to go back to the first one again? Well, here's a cheap way to do it,
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, that's the whole point of I see a lot of PC people buy into the Switch a lot. That seems to be the most interesting system to a lot of people who mostly game on the PC just because it's portable. And it gets a lot of indie games that they're familiar with that are on Steam. So they're really happy about that. It seems to be the Switch or PS4, which I can understand because the Xbox and the PC share like every game now. So the way it goes, except for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is going to be a console only game for a while. So there you go. Maybe even forever.
If it comes out.
I can't be. Well, there was a post on Facebook that got everyone. Did you guys see that? Everyone freaked out because of that post, and it just says coming soon. People are thinking it might show up sooner than that. I don't know.
Well, they already selected those people. There's like 20 people from the Kingdom Hearts community who have been selected, and they're going to be the first people to play Kingdom Hearts in the next month or so. So clearly, that game is pretty close to finished, I think.
Mm-hmm. We also Sony also I forgot to mention Sony also put out their console numbers. 79 million, I believe, is where they are. Is what I believe they said. 79 million shipped, and they're looking to do, I believe, another 16 million in this fiscal year. So they're actually looking for it to actually start to dip a bit, which I kind of makes sense, right? Because I mean, eventually you're going to the point where sales peak, and then it's obviously, I think that's where they are. I think on the back half of it now. But they're looking to ship another 16 million by the end of March 2019. So a bit of a decline, but
yeah, I think there's a term that people are afraid of in this industry, but it's called maxing out your audience, which means everybody in the world who wants a PS4 has a PS4. And I feel like they're kind of getting close to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's when your system's that popular, that's what happens. Eventually you sell through as many. I mean, if they sell 100 million units, they're gonna be like, I think we were successful this generation. Even if they do it really fast, right? Like they're gonna sell it very quickly with the PS4. But you're right, there is a finite amount of people out there who will buy your system if it doesn't fail over and over again, like the 360 did. Yeah,
that's a good way to get more.
Yeah, so eventually Sony's gonna be like, it's probably time to restart this thing. And they'll keep selling PS4s even after that. But 100 million, I think that if I take a guess, how far will the PS4 go?
I think 120 is my guess.
That's what I was going to say.
120, and then I think it's going to hit a wall.
Yeah. 120 sounds about right, because that would actually be by about 2020 that it'll probably be there. When we're talking about the once we start talking about the PS5, once they start talking about the PS5, those PS4 sales are going to go off a cliff. Because people, that's kind of what happened with the Xbox One X, and it's not even a next generation system. So, and it better be backwards compatible. we're gonna have some problems that system's not backwards compatible. 120, that's very successful, by the way, though. But I think the next generation will be way more interesting because there's no way Microsoft messes up like they did last time. So we'll see what happens there. Nathan Marshall says, have you guys seen Death Road to Canada for console? I have. I actually talked to the developers there. They're very kind people. I think they're sending one over, so I'm gonna check that out.
They sent it to me, and I've been playing it some. They delayed it at the last minute because of the unfortunate incident that actually happened in Canada. But the game is done, and they're about to release it. I played it some. It's really fun. The console version is really, really, really smooth.
What system are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PS4.
Cool. Okay, very good.
Traitor.
Very good.
I didn't get a chance to play any of the co-op though, and that actually looks like a game that's built for the co-op. So I kind of wish I'd test that. So I'm not going to do a review on it or anything, but it is pretty goofy and fun. I like the art.
I would Sean, tomorrow go out, go to Best Buy. Do you have the Gamers Club card?
No.
Okay. Go wherever then. Who cares? Take $60, go buy God of War,
okay.
And then we'll see you next week because you will not leave your house when you start playing. That game is so addicting. You need to get some God of War.
And then when you
some of that.
When you don't understand the ending, you can watch my viral video called God of War Ending Explained.
Was that the video that went crazy for you?
Yeah, I got 300,000 views in a week.
What's crazy is when you first put it out, it was like super slow. And I was like, damn, he didn't get many views on that. And I was like, oh, I guess it's because the game just came out, probably not many people are checking it out. Damn.
Yeah, once everybody started beating it. The ending is very cryptic. It's great. I love the ending. You got to warn, no spoilers, but very good ending, but it definitely leaves a lot open.
Yeah, I would go. You might as well, honestly, Sean, you might as well just download it. Just buy it digitally.
Yeah, I could. I only have to leave the house.
Yeah, you don't have to leave that. Honestly, I saw the physical edition. You still have to download. All right, Max, I put this out on Twitter. Is it just me, or is there an update every single time I turn this game on?
Yeah, I have the same thing, yeah.
I'm on 1.17, and it literally updates 1.01 at a time. So every time I turn it on, it's a new increment in the hundredths place.
What's funny is, so I was playing it before launch, and about a week before launch when I was playing it, they even emailed me and said, warning, there's going to be 2 day 1 patches. What the game works fine. What are the 2 patches doing?
2 day 1 patches?
Yeah, right? Why? They're like, there's a patch and then a patch to fix the patch.
We put a patch out, now we got to put another patch out to fix that patch that we put out, and then tomorrow we're going to do a patch.
The game
fix the first patch, the second one was supposed to be.
You got to patch the patch.
Which is weird. The game has no glitches. There's no. It's like I literally don't know what these patches are for.
This person wants to know your entire adult life or your college days or something.
I snorted it. No needles for me. And
I think I heard an awful quote. My mother was really into drugs. I think she said, if you ever shoot coke, you got 6 months to live.
Yeah, and I stayed away from the needles.
Yeah, Sean, you should get God of War. I would just start downloading it, dude. It was I just bought it on the store and it downloaded to 2 hours, but it was it's 40 50 gigs or something like that.
46 gigs.
Yeah. And then you got the I think the updates push it near 50. Because one of the patches was 4 gigabytes, I think. I would go get it though, Sean. It feels like it has those Zelda elements. If you enjoy any of the Zelda games, not even Breath of the Wild, older ones, believe it or not.
Yeah, I like the older ones.
It jumps you into that. Dave just put out the same type of video I've actually finished shooting already. Oh well. If you guys didn't know, Nintendo put out a new Joy-Con revision for the left Joy-Con, right? The one that I fixed. And they put the antenna in the exact same spot that I put it a year later. So there you go. I thought it was really funny when I came across that diagram they put out. I was like, that's where I put my my antenna. So I sent him a thing on Twitter just to let him know. Just let him know who did it first.
Yeah, I'm glad you're so inspired.
Yeah, just let him know.
Oh my god, that's
good though. That means don't buy a Joy-Con now.
Okay, I think we've had enough cocaine questions for the night, gentlemen.
I mean, you're paying. You might as well just type it in the chat. He's paying to ask these questions.
I think it was okay. I didn't do it often, maybe 2 or 3 times, max.
So that's something. How did man? This podcast is about video games. Went like completely left really quick.
Yeah, we need like 5 hosts to keep us on the rails, or else chat just like starts rioting.
Yeah, it's harder without Evan here. It's much easier with Evan. Yeah. So definitely get God of War, Sean. Don't sleep on that. Get it as soon as you can. Let me know what you think about it.
I was gonna say I'm about to buy it for my girlfriend. She's been watching me. I'm like going back through it for a 3rd time right now, doing all the side content, and she's just obsessed with like just the way the maps are set up and how like it spaces out combat so much. It's really cool. And like when you kill guys, they just stay dead, so you kind of get a chance to just like clear out a whole area and then look for all the secrets. And there's so many puzzles and so many hidden chests.
This is from British Let's Plays. What kind of storage medium do you think next gen games will have? Blu-ray can only go to 50 gigabytes now, so 4K is gonna need downloads a la Switch. Blu-rays can actually go higher than that. I believe they have Blu-ray X, I think is what it's called. Yeah. I have to double check what it's called, but those hold, I believe, over 100 gigabytes now. What's it called? I'm trying to think of what the next one is called. I probably have that completely wrong. I was going off the top of my head. There is so they have quadruple layer. Their Blu-ray drive XL, their BDXL. Those hold up to 128 gigabytes, but they are not cheap. They are quite expensive. We're talking like Nintendo Switch cartridges expensive. So that would be showing up next generation in like 2020 or 2021, but by then the Switch cartridge will probably be cheaper too. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I think they'll just go up to the next part of Blu-ray until finally 2025 or 2026 we'll probably have all digital systems by then. I think. I just don't know if they're going to keep Blu-rays around forever. With the way they're going now, you know?
UHD. I mean, the technology will advance, or we're going to just start selling people massive USBs.
I mean, I don't know. You don't think we'll eventually get to the point where we get to that future that Microsoft tried to pull on us, in 2013, where it's all digital? You just don't think we'll ever get to that point?
No, I think we're going to hit digital real quick. I mean, if you look at the trends, as much as chat hates to hear something like this, people are buying more digital games than ever. A huge part of the audience is digital games. So, I mean, I do think we're trending that way.
See that, Sean? Cersei Julius says RGT85, go get God of War now. What's up, all you guys? You three are my favorite YouTubers.
Thank you, sir. That's really awesome, sir. Thank you. That's awesome.
And we'll make Sean go get that God of War
now.
Yeah, it's worth the money. It's one of those games where it's just worth the money. Like I bought it. I do not regret buying it one bit. That game is outstanding.
It's my game of the year right now. And it's crazy because we've actually had some good games.
I have not finished it yet, but it is going that way for me as well so far. There have been some good games out there. I mean, there's not like I guess there's Monster Hunter. Some people look at that, but God of War is pretty legit right now. Like I think that's gonna end up being my front runner until we get to the rest of the year, because I'm sure there's a lot of games we don't even know about yet.
Yeah, I think mine right now is God of War, very closely followed by Celeste, and then very, very closely followed by Monster Hunter.
Okay. Nothing about Yakuza, huh?
I actually, this is a step down for the Yakuza series. They simplified the combat a little too much. So while it is the best Yakuza world we've ever gotten, with the most mini games and the silliest side quest, the combat was dumbed down considerably, and that kind of hurts it.
Okay. I was going to check out Zero because I bought that Humble Bundle, because usually I donate to the Humble Bundle every month, and they actually sent me and that was give away the codes. They sent me a 50% off Yakuza 0 on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah. Yakuza 0 is, in my opinion, still the best right now. I like a lot of them, but I think Yakuza 0 has the most complex combat and a good story and a lot of mini games.
Okay, cool. That's the one I'm going to jump back into with. Wishbone, E3 Expo revealed Dino Crisis 1 and 2 remastered. I'd be okay with that.
Damn, I would be too. Hell yeah.
I'd be okay with that because I saw the Tomb Raider reveal and I was like, that's a lot of special editions you guys are trying to sell us there. But the thing about this Tomb Raider that's coming out is I feel like we've she's been becoming the Tomb Raider forever now.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, Max, you even talked about it on Twitter, didn't you, at one point,
Yeah.
where you were like,
I said
how many tombs does she need to raid or something?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I counted it by just glancing at my strategy guide. She's already raided 36 tombs, literally across the first 2 games. At this point, it's like, look, how I break into one house, I'm a burglar. She breaks into 30 tombs, and she's not a Tomb Raider. Come on.
Argo asks, when are we getting the Switch repair video? Whenever that part gets to me. They already shipped it, but I believe it's coming from China. So whenever it gets here, I'll do it. And it'll be fun. And hopefully my Switch will work again. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Sean, don't worry. It's worth it. God of War, $60. Just download it. I just downloaded. Honestly, I saw what the physical disc was, and I was like, and I don't care. I just downloaded it. But also I'm using the PS4 Pro, and the performance mode is actually really cool on it. It actually kicks the frame rate up quite nicely. It kicks up to in like the mid 40s to sometimes 50s. And it's much smoother, which is good. And now that I have that 4K monitor that I'm hooking up tomorrow, I'll see how the thing really looks. I'm excited for that. Because people who have it on like 4K monitors say it looks amazing. And it's crazy. Honestly, this game, God of War, is probably the best looking game I've seen. I want to say this generation. Is that crazy to say, Max?
For God of War?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, especially I took it to my other room that has a better TV, and I hooked it on a big screen in my bedroom, was playing with my girlfriend, and it was just really like one of those things where I was like, that game is so gorgeous, it makes me believe in a PlayStation 5, because when I see that, I feel like this is as good as games are ever going to look on the PlayStation 4. It is marvelous.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's the roof right there. But
yeah,
it's the weaker system, but it has the best looking game so far.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Yeah, even the base PS4, that game looks better on the base PS4 than I think anything that's on the Xbox One X right now.
Yeah, well, it's so weird because just going around, the fact that there are no load screens, and I'm just literally cruising around a boat and seeing like a huge statue coming out of the mist and stuff. It's like, yep, this is we're topping out.
I would yeah, it's insane the way it looks. It's like the visuals on that are stunning. So it's pretty good. Tomb Raider, yes, Tomb Raider's out later on this year. September, I believe, right? September
14th.
Yeah, it's like mid-September. I'll be checking that out. I like the Tomb Raider games, but like they have really drawn this storyline part out, like this little saga they have going on with her for prequels to when she becomes the Tomb Raider. I don't know.
They're very fun, but they spend so much time flirting with magic, and that's the only thing that's really annoying me. I feel like they're fantastic games, but it feels like they're afraid to jump into any of the weirdness that the original games had. Like,
yeah, it's man, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. It looks like it's more violent, even, and the other ones were pretty violent. So we'll see how that goes. Any other questions?
I've seen this one person keep spamming a question, and I actually think it's a pretty good one. What's a big E3 guess we have? Just, I know it's super far away. What's a big E3? Just a random prediction.
Okay. Big E3 prediction. I'm trying to think of one I haven't even said in it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I'm trying to think of something I haven't said.
Well, I'm actually writing a video about it right now, so I'm going to really pull up my script here. I've got a bunch. A big one that I'm actually thinking that we're going to see is, I think we're going to see a new BioShock.
Ooh. Oh, well, didn't Jason Schreier say that they are working on a new BioShock at that studio next to him?
I've heard some stuff like that, but we still haven't heard. I haven't heard any concrete evidence, and there's still no real names or dates attached to it yet. But I do think that they're going to come out on stage, and I bet they're probably going to do one of those things where it starts out all cinematography and looking all cool, and then like the trailer ends with like a Big Daddy busting through the wall.
I'm gonna quickly answer this question, Max, before we go for real quick. Grubby K9 asks, which PS4 model should I get? At this point, you should get the Pro, especially after games like God of War have that performance mode. It is pretty cool. And honestly, if you're gonna jump in this generation, you might as well get the Pro, just because it gives you a little bit of future proofing there with 4K, and a lot of games are starting to give you that performance mode. Monster Hunter is the same thing, so I think it's worth just getting the Pro. I think it's like an extra $100, and I think it's worth it at this point. And then Callaway with the super chat, thank you there. No message, but thank you. Big E3 one. BioShock's a good one. I would like to see a BioShock. That'd be awesome.
I said Bayonetta 3 2018 release.
Ooh, that's big.
Wow,
too.
that would be good. Yeah,
That's big too. I am gonna say What if they did? I was gonna say what if they did Kingdom Hearts 3, and that comes out in August. But I'm hoping. I want to say that something like, what if Retro Studios shows up and it's not a single player? What if it's like a big multiplayer game? I'm trying to think of what big announcement they could do that would really throw people off.
Phantasy Star Online 3.
Oh man, that's not. Man. Pokemon's already happening. We already know that. My big one for a while there was Perfect Dark, but now it's like everyone knows that's happening now.
Yeah.
Like that was my big one for a while. I was like, oh, Perfect Dark's gonna surprise everyone. Now everybody's talking about it.
Perfect Tomb Raider.
Yeah, right. Oh, there it is. Star Fox Adventure 2. That's a great one, Arm6. That would be awesome to see. I wonder how the crowd would react to that. I wonder if people would be mad or happy about it.
Might be a little bit confused. Well, what I'm really hoping on is I feel like we're really hurting for good survival horror. I feel like we're like there's been almost a drought ever since Resident Evil came out. Like there's been some good indie horror, but
that's the game. That's what's going to happen. Retro Studio shows up, revive Eternal Darkness.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd be up for that. Or I mean, I'm really wanting Capcom. So all the details that have been coming out says that the Resident Evil 2 remake is going amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I keep hearing about that too. Yep.
Yeah, I'm hoping they just come out on stage and just do like a 8-minute demo of look, it's Resident Evil 2, but today.
I think that's going to be the jumping off point for it. Is that E3? I don't know if it'd be coming out this year. It might be like Capcom was fine launching Monster Hunter in January. What if they'd launch Resident Evil 2 in January also?
I think they would, because remember Resident Evil 7 did, and I read some investor thing that they think that's why Resident Evil 7 sold so well out of the gate is because they dropped it in such a dry month.
There it is. Rebooted Splinter Cell. I'm in.
Oh, that's definitely happening.
Yeah, that's definitely happening.
Bring that back. I'm in. Yeah, see, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about that sounds exciting, we kind of already know about. That we figure is I'm trying to think of something like off the wall crazy, that's like, whoa. That would Sly Cooper. I don't know if I don't know if enough people remember Sly Cooper at this point. That might be something people go, oh, that's cool. I'm trying to think of anything else that'd be really, I guess, big. Last of Us Part 2 coming this year. That would be pretty big. I think that's still a 2019 game. Late 2019.
I do think that's something we're going to see. I think what's probably going to end up being most talked about at Sony's conference is, I'm not basing this on anything, but I definitely think that we're going to see the first Death Stranding gameplay, and I think it's going to be a long piece of it.
Do you think we get Pikmin 4 at some point, is what Callaway said? Yes. I think Miyamoto likes Pikmin too much to let that die. As long as he's part of the company, it'll stay around. Retro doing a Marvel game for Switch. No, I think I still think Retro's doing a new IP, to be honest. As much as I would like to see them tackle something like Eternal Darkness, I think they're doing their own IP. But Marvel is who's making that? Crystal Dynamics? They're making the new Avengers Marvel game or something.
Yeah, Square Enix has the Avengers Initiative project.
Yeah, we'll see that at probably E3, I think. We'll see something about it. They'll at least show a trailer or something. Probably new. Yeah, there you go. New Wario Land. We saw that trademark for it. This is a blue snowball mic. I don't really like it, but the other one doesn't work that well right now. I think I was getting AT 2020, to be honest. It's called a day.
Donkey Kong 8 Country Trilogy HD. Yeah, I do feel like I see a lot of people suggesting different Switch HD collections. I think we are going to see some of that. I think it's going to be at the Treehouse, though. I think the same way that they revealed Metroid. What was the name of the side-scrolling Metroid?
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns, yeah. I think we're going to see another one of those, but it's going to be, of course, for Switch. I think that we're going to see something like, hey.
Sack-on 10, man, just playing with our emotions. Mega Man Legends 3.
That'd be good.
That would be so cool.
We've seen a lot of rumblings about some sort of Skyward Sword re-release. I would like to see that. I know that's like a more bashed.
I would like to see it without the motion controls, man. Just give us the option to just play it straight up.
Yeah,
and that's just me. I mean, they have to rework a lot of it, but yeah, that'd be fine though. Yeah, GTA 5 will probably be there. We're pretty confident on that one. I think most of us are at this point. They put it on everything, so why not? Which, by the way, they're going to get to 100 million games probably this year, by the end of this year.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did see the Venom trailer. I thought it looked okay. It's weird that no Spider-Man is around him, but sure.
Yeah, well, it's super funny. I think the movie's either going to be really fun or terrible, but a fun terrible.
Yeah. I guess any other questions you guys wanted to answer before we take off here? Get you guys out of here Saturday night. Anything else?
No, be sure to subscribe to Dreamcastguy. I'm getting close to 100,000. I'm at like 96,500.
Yeah, you both are getting there. You guys will be
sure
there.
to subscribe to RGT85. I'm getting close to 100,000. I'm at like 95,000 plus.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to both of them. They're getting close. Sean's trying to get there before too many games, which he should, which is great.
Yeah.
And Max is just trying to get there.
Yeah, my goal is I do want to try and do a big push to try and get there in the next 2 weeks. My birthday is in 2 weeks, and I think it'd be awesome to like nail it on the day. We'll see.
Bring it up in your next video. Start bringing up your videos.
I do. I might. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I already filmed tomorrow's video, but after that, then I'll start doing that guy.
Yeah,
videos.
man.
I'll do like Sean and Trev, like, hey, today's topic. If you haven't hit subscribe, guilt trip. I'm gonna start doing.
Oh, dude, every video I do have.
Trying to get there by my birthday. So you know,
don't make me cry on my birthday. Hit subscribe. Notification bill.
You're doing a 24-hour live stream for that, right?
Yeah, when I hit 100,000, I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream. A lot of people have been talking to me because everyone knows I love Final Fantasy. And recently I've been playing back through Final Fantasy 9. So people have suggested that I just try and beat Final Fantasy 9 in one 24-hour sitting. I bet I could.
That'd be interesting. I would be all right seeing that.
Yeah, I think it's possible. It'll be great. I'll definitely need some really lit chat to keep me awake.
That game's pretty fun. I think you'd be able to do it.
I love that game so much.
So I guess that's it for tonight, episode 50. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting watching Max be on stream for 24 hours. That'd be impressive.
Well, super old school fans will know I actually did that years ago when I broke 5K. I did a 24-hour live stream for Final Fantasy 7, and I called it Final Fantasy for Food. And I'm going to do the same thing again, which is where I take all the super chats gained during the stream and I donate them to a local charity that I really like called the North Texas Food Bank. So I'm going to do that again with this and call it the Final Fantasy for Food Marathon.
Wait, when you do a 24-hour stream, does that mean that like you order dinner and stuff and eat while you're on stream and everything, talking to people? Interesting.
So what I did last time is I actually had a friend of mine stay just off camera the entire 24 hours to give me food and give me water and make sure I was okay. That way, if it started looking like I was not okay, we could end the stream, because I don't want to let people, like, sleep deprivation is not a joke. People have literally died on stream from sleep deprivation. So I just make it a point to drink healthy and be healthy. But sure, I think it'll be fun.
Good. All right. Very good. I guess that's it. Make sure you guys check out Max Dreamcastguy and then Sean RGT85. Sub to them and help them get there, because they're not too far off. And that means that the SpawnCast will be pretty much full of people.
Over 100K crew
with silver play buttons, which takes a while for them to send that to you, by the way. They still haven't even asked me if I want mine. So there you go.
And you saw they just redesigned the silver play button. It looks cooler now, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm actually all right with that. So I'm okay. It's like mirror now. It's like a silver, but it's like a mirror. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and it's one big piece of metal instead of like a piece of chunk behind a piece of glass.
I'm gonna smash with a hammer. I don't care.
Okay, good.
Bam. Nah. We'll do. I'm gonna do something fun with it anyway, just for fun. I'll hang it up at some point somewhere around here. But I guess that's you made good friends with the Nintendo person, Sean. You answered all their questions.
I mean, I'm a man of the people. I don't care. Like,
anything for money.
Sean, when you get to 100,000 subs, man, you should play Metal Gear Solid 2 from start to finish.
That probably wouldn't take me that long. Although I haven't played it in a long ass time.
Practice a little bit, and a friend of mine beat Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4 in 24 hours straight. So you could probably do that.
I just mean in general, because you said that's the one that pulled you back into gaming. Just take that game and just do a live stream of you beating it from start to finish. They have it on like the PS3 and everything. You get it on. I would just do that. That's actually pretty cool. Do it.
Don't they have?
And that
is it on Xbox One too?
It might be backwards. No, Peace Walker, I think, is backwards compatible.
Yeah.
If you can get a Metal Gear Solid Substance, that way you can beat the game and then do the mini game where you're playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as Snake.
Yes.
Do you remember that? That's awesome.
Of course.
Do you guys have anyone to raid? Any ideas? Anyone that we should be rating
That
that I should know about?
100K stream lines.
I'm really glad you guys are supporting me.
Oh man.
I don't have anyone that I'm particularly fond of that's streaming.
No, is Avedon's on? Avedon Smith's on?
Is he streaming? I didn't see
Somebody just said that in the chat. Somebody said that. He's on. I'm fine with that. Let me just make sure we can get his channel.
Now I look like a dickhead. There's no one streaming I'm really interested in. Avedon's on. Oh shit.
Is he on? Hold on.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him
on either. No. Is he? Did he say he was going live?
Hey, I do have. What is this? What Metal Gear collection is this that I'm looking at?
I swear
you guys have rated CND several times now.
I thought you were about to say I have a little bit of coke right here for some reason. Like you.
So I got this.
Man.
I got the HD collection on PS3, but it's a bitch to stream on PS3 because the Elgato doesn't work. And where the hell is the disc? What the hell is this?
I have the box. This is the box you need to stream. It's so people don't realize that streaming with the PlayStation 3 requires you split the frequency apart and then sew it back together without the HDCP in there. It's such a pain.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to. I'd probably be better off streaming with a damn PS2.
Oh, who you call it? People said Nintendo Cade.
Oh, is Danny streaming?
So they said. People said Nintendo Cade. Avedon's on at 11 p.m. is what they were saying. Oh, he is. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, yeah, they are streaming. Nintendo Cade is streaming. Let me. Should we do that? You guys want to?
I do Danny.
All right. There's Nintendo Cade. Go ahead and bug them guys. Say SpawnCast sent you guys, and that should do it for tonight, guys. It's Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern every Saturday night. Make sure you stop by. That was episode 56 of the SpawnCast, and we'll see you guys next week.